Very welcome. My name is Silvia Hesse. I'm board chair of the association Friends of Malawi, Friends Circle of Malawi, and Twinning City Hannover Blantyre. I'm very pleased that we can host this meeting today with our special guests from Blantyre and friends, of course. And I'm pleased that the Department for Women and Gender Equality of the City of Hanover is our cooperation partner, and that the two organizations, Violetta and Baobab, are also with us today. They all have many experiences and are committed to healthcare and rights of women and girls in Hanover. And they all have years of experiences. And so it's very good that we can talk together about all these points. Before we start, I will introduce shortly Corinna and Nick, who are teacher in international school project, who has kindly agreed with us or to us to give the practical assistant, and Lynn Bender will assist with a very short or a brief translation. So, dear friends, it's nice to see you all, and we are very happy to have you here to discuss together, because around the world, women and girls are suffering the consequences of climate change, environmental degradation, and poverty. And the COVID pandemic is rapidly worsening their situation. More and more women are fighting back and campaigning for their rights. Among them are our guests from Blantyre. It's therefore a big honor for me to welcome Gertrude Chirambo and Lydia Deborah Banda. Both are very strong and committed women representing different generations with different spheres of influence. Gertrude Chirambo will give us an overview about the current situation of the corona pandemic and its impact on women and girls, and which initiatives exist to protect women and girls. Lydia Deborah Banda will present some examples from Blantyre, how theatre and environmental education and participation of girls and youth contributes to awareness rising and empowerment them. Finally, we should talk what we can learn, what we have learned after these presentations, and what we can do together in future. But now I would like to give the floor to Gertrude Chirambo. She is a counselor and the chairperson of Women Counselors in Malawi. She was elected in 2014 as ward counselor in her hometown Blantyre in Malawi. She came to Hannover the first time to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the city partnership between Hannover and Blantyre. Gertrude is also very active in national and international affairs. She holds master's degree in business and administration, and since 2015 she has been recognized for her achievements in the field by receiving 3 awards: the Women of Purpose recognition in London, the BIFTA Award, Black Entertainment Film, Fashion Development, Television and Arts, 2016 for the Community Leadership Award 2015 at Westminster Central Hall in London, and the Special Recognition Award 2018 in Leicester in UK, Malawi Association UK. So Gertrude Chirambo is a Harvard Women and Power Alumni, steering committee member of African Women Leader Network, Malawi chapter in the committee. So I think she is the best who can give us all the information we are interested in. So, dear Gertrude, please, we are very happy to be welcoming you here today. Now it's yours. You're welcome. Have you here.
Thank you, Sylvia. Good afternoon, everyone. I just want to give you honor for inviting us just to have a talk on the situation of COVID in Malawi, specifically in Blantyre, and how the girls and women have been affected. So I will just start by giving an overview of Blantyre, where I come from, where I'm a councillor. Blantyre is a city in the southern part of Malawi. It is the first city to be established in Southern Africa. It was established in 1876 by the missionaries. And it is the commercial capital of Malawi. The central capital, the capital city is Lilongwe, but commercial activities, they are mainly centered in Blantyre city. So Blantyre has got a population of about 800,000 people, but on a day, we have over 1 million people because the people from the surrounding districts, they come to Blantyre to do various businesses. So in Blantyre, we have a situation whereby 60% of the population live in the informal settlements. And this one poses a problem because in the informal settlements, you know, the sanitation, there are no proper roads, and the housing area is like mixed format, and it's not easy to reach people when they are needed because it's just a lot of people in one place. So as of now, I just want to share with you that in Malawi, the COVID cases as of December, we had less than 10 cases per day. But in January, we had a surge of COVID cases. And it was noticed that mainly it's because we had over 5,000 people who had crossed the border from through road or by air. So right from the first week of January, the first 3 weeks, the cases rose up to 10,000 cases, and a lot of people died. And the death toll as at now, it's about 1,099 people who have died in Malawi. Those are the registered cases. And out of the 200,000 tests that were conducted, 32,000 were positive, COVID positive cases. That is according to the report by the Ministry of Health. So 74% of the people that tested positive, they caught the COVID locally. They were local transmission within Malawi. So at the moment, there is a lot of vigilance in trying to curb the virus. You find that in most public places in Blantyre, it's a requirement that they should have hand washing facilities. So for example, if one is going to the bank, before you enter a bank, there is a wash basin, you have to wash your hands. Also, before you touch the cash machines or the auto teller machines, you have to use a sanitizer. They are placed right on each auto teller machines, and also at the entry points of the banking halls, as well as in the shopping places for groceries and markets. There are buckets where people are encouraged to make sure that they wash their hands. And secondly, a mask is compulsory now. When you're going out of your house, you have to wear a mask so that you are protected, but also you protect others. such that if you don't have a mask, if you don't have a mask, you are not allowed entry in public places. And in the hospitals and other sensitive areas, they always have this, they do these temperature checks before one is allowed in. So in Malawi at the moment, we now have vaccines and people have started taking the vaccines. I think in the major centers, there's been communication, like in Blantyre, in the health centers, people are going there to have access to the COVID vaccine. So as you can see, I just want to give a picture also of the different scenarios from a woman in a city and a woman in the rural setting, so that we can understand it better. Most women in the rural setting, they have no idea what COVID is. And because they rely day in, day out on these piece jobs to get money so that they can fend for their families, their priority is to survive, you know, to get piece work so that they can get paid and be able to buy soap, sugar, and food and their basic commodities. So such that if they are working in the farms, they mingle with their fellow workers. There is no social distancing whatsoever. And most of the people in the rural settings, they don't even use masks. So the women in the city, most of them, they are aware of this COVID because there's been a lot of sensitization and they have access to television and radio, and they know it's a must. By now, they know it's a must to have a face mask. But the problem that they are facing now is their businesses are not going well. Just as the big companies, the businesses have gone down because the people that are mostly in Blantyre city, especially the middle-aged group, they migrate to South Africa. Some of them, they have businesses whereby they travel to South Africa and buy various items, various commodities to sell in Malawi. As you know, in Malawi, most of our things, we get them from South Africa. So because when the COVID first came in, COVID pandemic first case was realized, they closed the borders. So as a result, there was limited travel except on essential travel. So a lot of middle-aged women who were like vibrant in businesses, international business, going to Tanzania or South Africa to buy different things, they could not continue with their businesses. As a result, a lot of people have lost their jobs, and most people cannot afford the basic things that they were affording before. And you find that there is a large number of street kids roaming around town and in the communities, in the locations. These kids, they are not like they don't have a home, but because they don't have food, so in the morning, they leave the house, they go wander around looking for food, whatever they can get. And then when it is dark, they go back to their homes. So this was according to a study that was done, and it was found that over 80% of the kids that are on our streets, they have a home. It's not that they are destitute or they are homeless, but they leave home in search of food to survive day in and day out.
Aber was sie eben erzählt hat, dass Corona natürlich oder Covid, die Pandemie insgesamt vor große Herausforderungen stellt, weil eben 60% der Menschen in Blantyre in Informal Settlements leben, also in Situationen, wo es eher schwierig ist, sich die Hände zu waschen, Abstand zu halten. Sie hat auch beschrieben, dass es Unterschiede gibt zwischen dem ländlichen Raum und der Stadt, weil eben die Informationsbeschaffung nochmal anders ist. Also in der Stadt haben viele einen Zugang zum Radio, zum Fernsehen, werden eben nochmal anders aufgeklärt als im ländlichen Raum, wo es zum Teil einfach auch um die Existenz geht und es eben sehr, sehr schwierig ist, zum Beispiel Abstand zu halten oder eine Maske zu tragen. Und ja, viele leben dann einfach von der Hand in den Mund. Und sie hat auch erzählt, dass ein Wirtschaftszweig von vor allem, sie meinte, glaube ich, so mittelalten Frauen oder insgesamt von Frauen auch ein Import-Export-Geschäft ist. Also viele gehen in die Nachbarländer, vor allem nach Südafrika auch, kaufen da Produkte und gehen dann zurück nach Malawi, um sie dort wieder zu verkaufen. Und da war es natürlich dann ein großes Problem, als die Grenzen auch wieder geschlossen worden sind. Und es sind insgesamt einfach viele Herausforderungen durch Corona. Was sie aber auch berichtet hat, ist, dass vor allem größeren Einrichtungen wie Banken oder Geschäften gibt es Desinfektionsmittel, man kann sich die Hände waschen. Masken sind mittlerweile vorgeschrieben, wenn man das Haus verlässt. Die Impfung ging jetzt auch los. Also ja, es ist nach wie vor ein Kampf, aber es wird einiges gegen Corona auch getan.
So I will continue with the effects of COVID pandemic, especially on girls' education as well as the families. So with the COVID pandemic, schools have been shut in and girls and boys in school, they've had to go home and come back and go home and come back like that. So that has really affected their performance, such that the time that they were idle at home, we have a lot of early, unplanned pregnancies, as well as early marriages. Some girls have opted just to get married because they're like a bit disappointed to say, what's the point? I go to school and then after 1-2 weeks, we are told we have to go home, and then we stay home and then we're asked to go. So there are a lot of unplanned pregnancies, a lot of girls that have gone into marriages, underage marriages. So as in Blantyre, there are over 2,000 early marriages. That is Blantyre City as well as Blantyre Rural. And there is one district which is in the eastern part of Malawi called Mangochi. That's where we have the highest number of early marriages. As at September, it was at 5,000. 5,000 girls have left school and have gotten married. So that is according to the report that was published by the Ministry of Gender. So the other issue about our girls who are in school is that there's been reports of even the sexually transmitted infections, because they don't have access to safe, they don't have enough information to protect themselves from these infections. So because of the time that they were at home, some just wander about some of them, they're doing things just to make money so that they can survive. Some is because of poverty. Some is just because of peer pressure. So we really have lost a lot of girls who otherwise would have been in the normal channel of our education system. As you know, education is one of the best tools we can use to eliminate our poverty. And it's one of the tools that we can use to change the world, as Nelson Mandela said. So our worry is on these girls. What will happen? What is the future of these girls? Because already most of them, they were already looking forward to finishing school, but now they find themselves with pregnancies which they did not plan. And some of them, they resort to go to these marriages. So it's a big problem. And this is just a reflection of what is also happening across Malawi, especially in the cities. It's larger numbers as well. Along the lakeside region, there are also larger cases, larger numbers of girls that have gone into marriages.
Mein Stichwort, genau, sie ist jetzt nochmal darauf eingegangen, dass vor allem die Schulschließungen auch ein Problem sind, weil das dazu führt, dass die Mädchen früh schwanger werden oder verheiratet werden, und das hat unterschiedliche Gründe. Zum einen ist es Wissen, was auch fehlt. Die Schulen fangen natürlich auch ganz, ganz viel ab. Armut ist da auch eine treibende Kraft. Sie hat aber auch erwähnt, dass es Druck gibt durch Gleichaltrige. Und ja, es sind eigentlich 3 Herausforderungen, die sich dadurch ergeben. Einmal diese Schwangerschaften dann die Heirat und auch ein Anstieg von sexuell übertragbaren Krankheiten. Und was Gertrud eben auch erzählt hat, ist, dass sie jetzt natürlich nur von Blantyre berichtet, das aber auch ein Spiegelbild ist für ganz Malawi. Also das ist ja eine große Herausforderung in weiten Teilen des Landes.
We have seen that there is a greater need for programs to coach our girls in schools or to coach our girls who are under school-going age so that we can give them and still be role models to them and also encourage them to hold on to their books, not to give up on life just because they are not learning on the normal schedule for learning. So there is greater need to coach the girls in Malawi and especially in the cities and to encourage them, as we've said. And also we need to find more role models who can go out in the schools and also in the locations to just encourage them. So what we have done in my ward, I'll just give an example. In my ward, I'm a councillor in Namalima ward, which is in Blantyre City Central. We have a local primary school, one local primary school, government primary school, and adjacent we have a girls' primary school. And we've had a lot of issues. But what we have done now, we try to reach out to train young girls. We found 10 young girls who are very active. We recruited them during COVID-Pandemie when the schools were shut down, and we trained them how to make hand-woven rugs. So I think maybe Nick can show us the picture, or maybe you can show us the picture of the rugs that we have done. Yeah, so yeah, we have managed to train 10 girls who we will use as training of trainers, so that when we get enough funds, we can also train more girls in this skill of hand weaving of rugs. It takes a lot of hours to make one rug, and we believe that if the girls are busy doing something, they can also use that as a form of a business and find customers and sell whatever they can produce. That way they'll be busy, but at the same time be able to have some form of income to sustain them. The other thing that we have done is to reach out to 120 elderly people, because we have also senior citizens that live in town, but not all of them can afford to stay there. So we reached out to, like in my community, we reached out to 120 senior citizens, and we provided them with COVID packs, food packages like maize meal and dried fish and soap and sugar and the mask, so that they are also protected from this COVID infection. We wish we could do more, but this is just a small scale initiative that we have done. But as a leader of the women councillors, the United UN Women has come up with a project which will start next month, such that we'll reach out to young girls and women in our areas and also encourage them to report any cases of harassment or abuse, because there's been also a rise in cases of domestic violence as well. So the UN Women has come up, they've signed a contract with local government association. They will be giving each woman councillor $1,000 each to implement the project as a sensitization tool to the women and also to reach out to the girls.
Genau, Gertrud hatte ja eben schon erwähnt, dass gerade dadurch, dass die Schulen geschlossen haben, Herausforderungen entstanden sind. Und sie meinte jetzt eben, dass es notwendig ist, Programme gerade für die Mädchen zu etablieren und sozusagen ja, Bücher statt Jungs oder Boys zu promoten und Vorbilder auch herzustellen. Und sie hat dann ein kleines Projekt vorgestellt an einer Grundschule für Mädchen in Blantyre, wo ja, 10 junge Mädchen ausgebildet werden, die auch in der Pandemie jetzt ausgewählt worden sind, um, wenn ich das richtig verstanden habe, Teppiche herzustellen, diese zu knüpfen in Handarbeit. Und das hat zum einen natürlich den Vorteil, dass sie beschäftigt sind und andererseits können sie sich dadurch eben auch ein Einkommen generieren. Ein anderes Projekt, das sie vorgestellt hat, ist mit 120 älteren Menschen, die ein Essenspaket bekommen haben, wo auch Seifen und Masken drin war, eben um ja, das Ärgste aufzufangen. Sie sagt auch, natürlich ist es eine kleine Initiative. Sie würde sich wünschen, dass da auch noch mehr kommen kann, hat dann aber auch von einem Projekt erzählt, was nächste Woche beginnen soll, von den UN-Women, also von den United Nations, wo es vor allem um häusliche Gewalt geht, weil das eben auch ja, angestiegen ist während des Lockdowns.
So I'm going towards the end of my presentation. I hope I'm within time, yes. And what I wanted to say is that in all this, it has been found that there is a lack of economic empowerment amongst women. They are willing, but they are not economically empowered to do various activities so that they can be able to sustain themselves and also be able to protect their girls to make sure that they don't drop out from school or they end up leaving the house to get married at an early stage. Because the other thing is that there is limited social alternatives for our youth. So in terms of entertainment, some of the places, there is no place to do recreation. And because of COVID, people are just, in the house and they are practicing the social distancing. So because of that, it has also caused our girls to sneak out and try to entertain themselves in a way that they think that it is good, which in the end is not good for their future. So the other thing is that we need to protect access to education for our girls so that they are not disadvantaged. Because if they are educated, then they'll be able to make good decisions and they will be able to make decisions how many children, for example, they should have, and they will be able to look after their families. But if they get a child at a tender age, it means the cycle of poverty will continue like that for the next generation. The other thing is that it was found that we need to teach our girls sexual education. And also the government has got legal frameworks, to guard against these early marriages. But the onus is on the community awareness to say that if you see any early marriages, please report so that these girls will rescue them. And also to give them something that they can use to sustain themselves so that they don't go back doing the same practices. So the government in my ward has introduced a social cash transfer for the first time. So they have started with 700 recipients. 700 recipients of vulnerable people who will be receiving at about $50 every month for the next 6 months as a cushion for them to have good nutrition so that they can be able to buy the food, they are able to eat well and be able to live a healthy life. So in closing, I just want to say that as this is in line with the sustainable goals, the number one goal is to end poverty in all its forms. And also the second goal is zero hunger, so to end hunger. So another goal is to ensure good health and well-being. Number 4 is quality education. Number 5 is gender equality. So you can see the first 5 top most sustainable goals are to do with generally the well-being of individuals. So we just want to say that we are happy with this partnership with Hanover and with this exchange that has gone on for over 50 years. So we are here to share information and collaborate, and we are looking forward to partners and friendships in Germany, in Malawi, in any part of Malawi, we can connect you, because as I mentioned that I'm chair of 66 women councillors. They are in 24 districts in Malawi, from northern part of Malawi to the southern part. So whichever area you want to connect with us, this is my message from the women councillors, whichever area you want to connect, whether it's a particular district you are interested in, whether it's a particular area, we have 66 community leaders who can give you information, whom you can work with. As you know, we are volunteers, and we have a passion to make a difference in people's lives in our communities. So we just want to thank you, Sylvia, for organizing this, and I just want to thank the interpreter. And that's my last word, that really COVID has brought in a different way of doing things, and we really need to come up with strategies to rescue our girls and women for a better future and a better Malawi. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gertrude, very much for your presentation, and we really can feel your passion in wanting to make a difference for women and girls, and that you really said how important it is to work together also with all the organization and in this partnership. Thank you so much. But now I would like to give the floor to Lynn again for the for the translation, the summary of the translation.
Genau, Gertrude hat jetzt damit nochmal geendet und hat so ein bisschen zusammengefasst, was Frauen und Mädchen eigentlich brauchen. Also vor allem, ja, sagt sie, man muss sie wirtschaftlich stärken, weil das ja eben mit ganz vielen Dingen verbunden ist. Das bedeutet Unabhängigkeit, Mädchen können zur Schule gehen, also ja, hat ganz viele Implikationen. Es fehlt gleichermaßen irgendwie auch an Aktivitäten für junge Leute, und gerade die Mädchen suchen sich das dann eben in anderen Bereichen. Also auch da ist es irgendwie notwendig, ja, sie sozusagen zu beschäftigen, und das kann eben auch über Bildung gehen. Und sie meinte auch, dass Bildung eigentlich der Punkt ist, um aus dem Zirkel der Armut auszubrechen und absolut notwendig ist. Genauso wichtig ist es eben auch, Sexualkunde an den Schulen zu lernen und da aufzuklären, Communities auch dahingegen zu sensibilisieren und zu sagen, es ist nicht okay, wenn ein Mädchen mit 13 oder 14 Jahren heiratet, dass alle da ein Auge aufeinander haben. Und sie hat auch nochmal daran erinnert, dass es eben diese Sustainable Development Goals gibt, und da besagen eigentlich die ersten 5, dass Armut enden muss, dass man gesund leben soll, dass der Hunger beendet werden muss, es gibt ein Recht auf Bildung und auf Gleichberechtigung. Genau, und ganz zum Schluss hat sie sich nochmal bedankt dafür, hier sein zu dürfen, für die Partnerschaft und auch die Freundschaft zu Hannover und dem Freundeskreis, und hat gesagt, dass sie eben ja sehr, sehr viele Community Leaders kennt, mit denen sie auch gerne verknüpft, und alle sind irgendwie getrieben von dieser Passion, das Leben für Frauen und Mädchen besser zu machen, und hat das auch nochmal angeboten, wenn da Interesse besteht, dass man in Austausch treten kann und zu unterschiedlichen Themen sich austauscht.
But now I would like to welcome very much Lydia. And it's a pleasure for me to see Lydia so actively fighting for better life for women and girls. In 2012, she visited Hannover as an actor with the Solomonic Peacock Theatre, and this was within the partnership with EGS List. It's a school from Hannover. I love this school. I think this is one of our best schools. And it was an international youth theatre exchange as a part of the Werden, Fair European project, which was based on the Friends Circle of Malawi and the city partnership. And Werden Fair School Clubs was founded after this project in Blantyre, which today continues to be very active in climate protection and sustainability. So Luis, now we lost him, but Luis is one of the founders, and we are very happy that he joined us today as well. And now I would go back to Lydia to tell that she was invited some year later to attend the project lead initiatives by the Youth Network Peer Leader International, which again brought her to Hanover, where she created the Flying Girls initiative together with other international activists within the peer leader team. And we were supported the Flying Girls actively together with Lynn and others, and her mother, she is still with us. And at least I just want to tell that Lydia was very active on the International Day on 8th of March. And now we are looking forward to hearing more about the current status of the project and that what Lydia is doing to improve the lives of women and girls, especially in Malawi and Blantyre. And what we can do together will be a part which we discussed at the end. So Lydia, you're welcome. It's nice to see you again after so many years. And I think this is the best what could happen, that we have this friendship so many years. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, everyone. Good evening. So once again, my name is Lydia Deborah Banda. I'm from Malawi, Blantyre. I'm a co-founder of Freundeskreis Girls Malawi and a member of Aware and Fair clubs in Blantyre. So just to say a bit of Freundeskreis Girls Malawi. So this started in 2017-18. I visited Germany for a project called LEAD under Peer Leader International. So LEAD stands for Leadership, Education and Development. So I was representing Malawi in Germany as a young girl trained to be a leader in our local organizations. So the project went for 2 years. We were going about different countries. We went to Germany, South Africa. Others had to come to Malawi. So it was just more of a cultural exchange and everything. We were doing a lot of projects under leadership, education and development. And I'm glad to say that Freundeskreis Girls Malawi comes from LEAD. And I'm happy also to see Corina here because this was one of the ideas that came out from her and she really wanted this. And I fall in love with the project. That's why I'm also here and to talk more about it. So Freundeskreis Girls Malawi, I can just say it stands for Future Leaders and Young Initiative for Nature and Gender Equality. So you would see that in Freundeskreis Girls, we do a lot of things. We talk of nature protection, we talk of gender equality, we talk of leadership and young girls and women. So when I visited Malawi after discussing about these Freundeskreis Girls in Germany, I saw that it was a good idea if we move on with the project because it was Freundeskreis Girls Malawi, Freundeskreis Girls Uganda, Freundeskreis Girls South Africa. So these are the people that were doing also Freundeskreis Girls in their countries, the young girls that we were together in Germany. So we agreed to move on with this idea. So we saw that period poverty is experienced all over the world. And it's not just in developed countries, but even in developing countries, you'd see that there's period poverty. Most girls are failing to take care of themselves during any activities just because they can't afford to get sanitary products to sustain them. So when I came back here, Corina told me about menstrual cup. She introduced me to this cup. It was new to me and to most of my fellow Malawians and even other girls from South Africa. Because here in Malawi, our girls, they usually use rags, they use pads, but this product was new to us. So we were like, there's this menstruation cup and this can be a dual product to Malawi, since Malawi is one of the poorest countries in Africa. So we'd see that when a girl is doing her menstruation periods, a girl definitely needs to have 700 or 800 in every month to get sanitary products, to get pads and help herself. But then there is this menstruation cup which I'm being introduced, and it said to last long for 10 years. So I was like, if a girl can have a cup at secondary school, definitely the cup will reach to what reached up to university, or the girl is still using the cup. So we had to contact Lynn, Sylvia, so they had to help us with the cups. So the cups got here in Malawi. So as I said that I'm a member of Aware and Fair clubs, there are a lot of activities that happen in our Aware and Fair clubs. Mostly we plant trees, we sweep in our local places, in markets, just to keep our environment clean.
Ja, Lydia hat sich ganz zum Anfang selbst nochmal vorgestellt. Sie kommt ebenfalls aus Blantyre, ist Teil des Aware and Fair Clubs und hat die Flying Girls Malawi mitgegründet. Genau, was die Flying Girls Malawi machen, da ja, wahrscheinlich die Hintergründe kann Corinna noch besser erklären als ich, falls da später nochmal Fragen zu aufkommen sollten. Genau, aber speziell in Malawi ist es daraus entstanden, dass Lydia zusammen mit anderen jungen Frauen aus Südafrika, Uganda und ich glaube auch Deutschland ausgebildet worden ist, über 2 Jahre eben als Leader, Vorbild zu arbeiten. Und daraus sind die Flying Girls Malawi entstanden. Sie setzen sich für den Umweltschutz ein, für Gleichberechtigung von Mädchen und jungen Frauen und ja, helfen ihnen dabei, ebenfalls ein Leader zu werden oder eine Anführerin. Was sie erkannt haben, ist, dass Periodenarmut weltweit ein Problem ist. Also es fehlt der Zugang zu sanitären Produkten, es fehlt an Aufklärung und so weiter. Und Lydia hat dann die Menstruationstassen kennengelernt und war davon sehr begeistert, weil normalerweise die Frauen in Malawi Lappen benutzen, um das Blut aufzufangen oder Binden und Menstruationstassen eben den Vorteil haben, dass sie relativ günstig sind. Sie halten bis zu 10 Jahre und sind eben auch noch nachhaltig im Vergleich zu Wegwerfprodukten. Genau, und darüber ist dann quasi dieser Austausch auch entstanden mit den Menstruationstassen. Lydia macht Bildungsangebote mit den Flying Girls in Blantyre und genau, jetzt wollte sie eben, glaube ich, auf Aware and Fair eingehen, wo sie schon mal kurz gesagt hat, dass sie zum Beispiel Müll einsammeln oder auf den Märkten fegen und genau.
Okay, so before we got the cup, it's like I've said that we belong in Aware and Fair clubs, but it's in Blantyre right now only. So we go in different schools whereby we talk with girls on different agendas. So we saw that there is also a need for this product, because once we go into school, we would see that most of the active members that we have in our Aware and Fair clubs are not showing up. And if you find out why, most of them would say that because they are in their menstruation periods and they can't attend school. So this has been the reason that has been there in most girls when we visit school. And we were like, it seems like menstruation period has now come a barrier for most girls to attend classes. That's why we were very happy to come across with these menstruation cups. So we've been going in schools, as you can see in pictures. We have been civic educating them about the cup and how they can manage their menstruation periods. So once they receive the cup, we would come back again for feedback and to hear their experiences about the cup. Right now, just to give you a number of girls that we have listed so far, we have a list of about 90 girls in Blantyre. And these 90 girls, we have seen that their lives has indeed changed, and mostly their performances, because at first there wasn't self-confidence in them, because even the participation in class wasn't that good during their period, because they're always shy to raise their hand in class and ask a question, because they'll just feel like, oh, maybe I have a blood stain on my uniform. The whole class will look at me and laugh at me. So what if I just stay home until I finish my period the whole week? As a result, they are missing out important lessons in school. And we also thought it wise to mix up with guys. As you can see, there are boys in other schools. At first, we were only meeting girls, but we saw it that these boys, they also have a big impact on this issue, especially when we are in this period of menstruation periods, because they are the guys who laugh at us when they see that we didn't come to school because we're in our period, or we're in school and we have realized that we have stained our school uniform. So we had to invite the guys as well, so that there should be this relationship between girls and boys to always understand what we women pass through, and they need to be there as our big fan, our big supporters during any other problem. And just to talk of how this COVID-19 has really affected us, we had a lot of plans actually to reach out many girls out there after finding out that, as Gertrude has already said, the number of girls that are getting pregnant while they're in school, it's increasing each and every day. And we have also found out that this is also because girls are just saying they need money to buy sanitary products. And in searching of money, they'll find sugar daddies, they'll find boyfriends to give them money for them to buy nice underwears, for them to buy sanitary pads. As a result of them searching for money out there, they end up being in a relationship with big men who would give them money in exchange with sex. As a result, pregnancies and some other sexually transmitted diseases.
Genau, also sie hat festgestellt, zum Beginn ihrer Arbeit hat Lydia festgestellt, dass viele irgendwie nicht an den Clubs teilnehmen können, nicht zum Unterricht kommen, und sie hat dann gefragt, woran liegt das? Und es hat sich herausgestellt, dass für viele einfach die Menstruation eine Barriere ist, am Unterricht teilzunehmen. Dazu gehört, dass sie nicht wissen, wie sie die Produkte wechseln sollen, unterschiedliche Hintergründe. Sie haben Angst, dass Blut irgendwie auf der Kleidung ist. Und Lydia hat dann angefangen, mit den Flying Girls Malawi ein Bildungsangebot zu kreieren, wo es zum einen darum geht, zu erklären, wie man die Cups benutzt, aber auch insgesamt über Menstruation aufzuklären. Und sie haben dann festgestellt, mittlerweile haben sie 90 Tassen verteilen können, und sie haben festgestellt, dass die Mädchen viel selbstbewusster sind, weil eben diese Angst weg ist und der Charme auch, genau. Was sie auch gemacht haben, ist Jungs mit einzubeziehen, weil sie da auch relativ schnell festgestellt haben, dass zum Beispiel das Lachen von den Jungs auch ein Grund sein könnte, eben nicht zur Schule zu gehen, ne? Dass die Mädchen Angst haben, sich schämen, und sie wollen sie zu Big Supportern ausbilden, also dass die Jungs sie dann unterstützen und dass sich das so ein bisschen verändert. Dann hat sie auch ist auch auf Covid eingegangen, hat gesagt, dass das natürlich viele Pläne zerstört hat. Sie wollten gerne noch mehr Schulen erreichen und das Programm weiter ausbauen, wovon sie ebenfalls berichtet, was Gertrud ja auch schon gesagt hatte, mit den zunehmenden Schwangerschaften. Und was sie dann eben auch erwähnt hat, sind Sugar Daddies. Also es ist tatsächlich so, dass die Mädchen sich ältere Partner, Freunde, wie auch immer suchen und eben dann transaktionalen Sex haben und das Geld eben nicht nur für schöne Dinge ausgeben, das kommt auch vor, aber eben auch für sanitäre Produkte. Und das ist eben so erschreckend, dass diese Mädchen sich das so erarbeiten müssen. Genau. Und was sie auch noch erwähnt hatte, ist eben auch der Anstieg von sexuell übertragbaren Krankheiten, was damit irgendwie auch einhergeht.
All right, thank you. So after seeing that now COVID-19 is amidst us and we can't go to the girls again to find out what is going on in their lives, we can't even have any other opportunity to meet with their teachers or parents, because like last year we had most schools were closed and we had no access to the girls, and this time around the schools have just reopened like 2 weeks ago. So it was very hard for us to reach them and find out from them how they are doing. And this has really like disrupted all our programs, because we feel like most girls out there, even those with cups or those without the menstrual cups, just feel like they're missing out a lot. Like we're not there to save their lives because they really need us so much in this pandemic. So we thought that we should come up with this online program whereby we created a WhatsApp forum. We had to invite few girls that had access to smartphones, those that can use their parents' phone, to at least keep in touch with them. So this WhatsApp group has really helped so much. For example, this month we had on 8 March, there was an International Women's Day. It was our wish to go out and gather all the girls that from Aware and Fair to share their experiences and all the information. But because we can't physically meet, we had to use this platform to share all the information. So this year we were more focusing on leadership since it was this year's theme. So we had to invite Norma from South Africa, who is really doing good in leadership as a young woman, and also as a woman who focuses more on young girls, more especially girls and women. So on this 8 March, Norma was on our forum, giving us some inspiration talk and taking us through her journey, the challenges that she had to face as a young girl to reach up to this stage. And it was a very good interactive meeting, because most of the girls were commenting, asking questions, and most of girls were helped by this day on 8 March. So this is one of the activities that we're trying to keep girls in touch. But lucky enough, last week we had to be invited by this network called Malawi Creation Care Network. They were having a campaign of sweeping in markets, in local markets, and they had to invite us as Flying Girls Malawi, because we also deal with nature protection. So there are pictures, I think they'll be shown on the activity that we had last week.
Ja, Lydia hat erzählt, dass ihr das große Sorgen macht, weil sie die Mädchen halt eben nicht mehr erreichen können, wenn sie nicht zur Schule gehen, und auch der Austausch mit den Lehrkräften fehlt. Die Schulen haben jetzt vor 2 Wochen wieder aufgemacht. Ja, aber trotzdem sagt sie, dass es ein großes Problem ist, weil die Mädchen was verpassen, und sie hat Angst, zu was das führen kann, was es auslösen kann. Eine Möglichkeit, um im Kontakt zu bleiben, ist ein Online-Programm, von dem Lydia erzählt hat, mit den Mädchen, die halt eben Zugang zu WhatsApp haben, die ein Smartphone haben oder über das Handy der Eltern oder anderen Bekannten daran teilnehmen können. Und ein Beispiel für diese Aktivität, wo ihr eben die Bilder auch gesehen habt, war der 8. März, also der Internationale Frauentag, wo es einen WhatsApp-Chat gab zum Thema Leadership mit Noma aus Südafrika. Und es gab einen ganz regen Austausch darum, wie man ja für sich selbst irgendwie einsteht, sich auch vielleicht ein Einkommen schaffen kann, und genau so kann man irgendwie noch in Kontakt bleiben. Und letzte Woche, hat sie erzählt, waren sie vom Youth Network noch eingeladen, auf einem Markt zu fegen, und genau, das war schön, da mal wieder in echt sozusagen eine Aktivität haben zu können.
Yeah, so those are the pictures. We were cleaning the markets. As you can see, there's a really big need for people to take part into these activities, because right now we're facing climate change problems. So we need to really take part in cleaning our environment, planting trees. So that's one of the activities that we had to do last week. Just to finish with some of the challenges that we are facing during this pandemic, as we already know that food security has been affected as well. Most parents, they depend on farming. They are depending on selling their small businesses. So we know that we had lockdown, and most people, even most people that works in companies, they had to stop working due to the pandemic. So this has also affected children. It affected young girls as well, in a way that economically families are affected. Now schools that are open, these girls are not even coming back to school. So we thought that these girls are not coming back to school maybe because they don't have the sanitary products to keep them in schools, or maybe they don't have enough resources. But we have seen that because this pandemic affected their parents as well, their parents are even failing to get money and give them to buy books, to buy face masks, to even buy school uniform for them to go back in school. So we have seen that now it's a huge problem for us, because we thought that now we are done with this problem by providing these sanitary products and building confidence in these girls. Now the pandemic is amidst us. Their parents can't even afford to support these girls with books to go back in school. So we are just looking forward to a better 2022, whereby this pandemic will just be over and everything will be back to normal. We'll get back to girls and they'll all get back into track.
Thank you. Lynn?
Genau, ja, sie hat jetzt nochmal geendet und hat ein paar Herausforderungen aufgezählt. Dazu gehört eben die Nahrungsbeschaffung. Ja, viele können nicht mehr zur Arbeit gehen. Es ist auch ein Problem, einfach insgesamt an Lebensmittel zu kommen. Und Kinder tragen diese Last natürlich mit, ne? Also da sind die Sorgen von den Eltern, aber auch natürlich vor allem die finanziellen Probleme. Und Lydia hat erzählt, sie haben festgestellt, die Schulen sind jetzt zwar wieder offen, aber manche Mädchen kommen einfach gar nicht zurück, und sie hat jetzt noch keine fundierte Erklärung dafür, vermutet aber, dass halt einfach ganz einfach das Geld für die Basics sozusagen fehlt, ne? Es sind die Masken, es sind die sanitären Produkte, aber auch Bücher, und das hindert eben die Mädchen zurückzukehren zur Schule. Und ja, zum Abschluss hat sie nochmal gesagt, dass sie auf ein besseres 2022 hofft und ja, da einfach nur die Daumen drücken können, dass es besser wird.
Yeah, danke schön, Lynn. And thank you very much, Lydia. I'm always impressed what you are doing, and it's really great. And I think the way how you are doing this, you're really touching the young people and the women. And there's one picture which you showed, and I saw it looks amazing, because you are really like a role model for the young people, for the young women, because you are so powerful. And I remember the difference when I met you 8 years ago.
Thank
so
you
it's
so
amazing.
much.
Really,
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you so much, Sylvia and Lydia, for the wonderful presentation. Maybe perhaps I could ask Corina to share the photos of the building project. Okay, so this one was a bridge that was constructed in 2016 to give access to young girls to cross the river to get to school, Blantyre Girls Primary School. So the bridge is still standing, but this year we are lucky that our Member of Parliament would like to maintain it and give it a bit of strength so that it will last for a longer period of time. And then the next picture is we have constructed a 400-seater community hall using my own initiative with the aim of giving access to space to girls and people like Lydia. They want to meet girls, they are free to come in the hall and teach the young girls how they can take care of their, when they're that time of the month. But also we want to teach girls various skills. So the hall is completed now. It's roofed and it's completed. We are just constructing the additional facilities like the washrooms and the like. But now we have like a preschool, and also girls coming to learn how they can make the sanitary pads So I just wanted to mention that because Lydia is here so that she knows that that project is for you girls. It's open for girls and women. Those people that have problems with studying, maybe electricity, power cuts, we want to create a space. We have created a space for them to come and access the hall even at night time to read and to study, and so that they can perform better in school. So right now we have finished it and we are just waiting for the connection for electricity, but it's being used at the moment. That's what I wanted to mention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gertrude. And now, Lynn, it's your turn.
Genau, dann übersetze ich das nochmal schnell. Sie hat eben nochmal zwei Bauprojekte vorgestellt. Einmal eine Brücke, die, jetzt habe ich es nicht ganz mitbekommen, letztes Jahr oder vor 2 Jahren fertiggestellt worden ist.
Letztes Jahr.
Letztes Jahr, genau. Ja, genau, damit Mädchen zur Schule gehen können. Beinahe gesagt, um eine Brücke zu schlagen zur Schule, aber ist symbolisch auch sehr schön. Genau, und was jetzt gerade aktuell fertiggestellt worden ist, ist eine 400 Plätze große Community-Halle, wo sich eben Mädchen und Frauen treffen können, wo Fähigkeiten vermittelt werden, wo sie unter anderem auch lernen, Binden selbst herzustellen. Und was besonders wichtig ist, es gibt einen Stromanschluss und das bedeutet, dass man auch im Dunkeln lernen, lesen und sich treffen kann.
Ja, vielen Dank. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Gertrude, for this example, what you have done by your own. And I think we could see it by our own eyes 2 years ago, what you have done. And I know that you're really very, very busy. I would like to ask you, Barbara, or Tyler, to give a small information about Violetta, because I think this could be very interesting for Gertrude and for Lydia and maybe for Yappi as well, and for Luis. So I think it would be great if you can make a small introduction of Violetta. I know when you start with your job, it was a very hard job because many people, they said we don't need it. But meanwhile, you are existing such a long time. Oh, jetzt bin ich umgesprungen. Also, okay, but now you are existing such a long time, and therefore I think it's very good if we can give an information about your activities and your goals especially.
Yes, thank you very much. It's such an honor to be here. Thank you for your presentations, and thank you for, I mean, I'm so impressed, and it's so nice to have seen also pictures and to really get a real vivid impression of what you are doing there. So important things that, yeah, I'm pretty touched by what you're doing. Thank you so much. And yes, my work at Violetta is sometimes very intense. I'm a counselor, and I'm working with girls starting from 3 years. These are the youngest girls that come to Violetta, and they are sexually abused in different ways. So I first of all have to get to reach them, and we have a wonderful room where we have a lot of games and a lot of dolls and things that every child would love to stay in there. So sometimes it's actually pretty easy to get in contact with them. But I also have teenager girls and other colleagues. We are like 11 women here in the counseling center, and 7 of us are working as counselors and therapists. We are like 3 therapists in here, and yeah, we are doing also sexual education. 3 colleagues are working in that that part, and yes, it's I'm the one who came. Actually, I've been working here for 3.5 years. So Barbara is the one who, like, yeah, initiated this center, and yeah, it's I don't know. Maybe you can ask me questions. I think this is actually yeah, what I'm doing here. Or Barbara, you can let me know if I forgot some important things.
You're welcome. Maybe for the last sentence, whoever wants to have a last word, you're welcome for a question, for an idea, for an information, whatever you like to add.
With this powerful picture of the demonstration, I want to plant a really powerful picture also in your hearts. And this picture comes from the very beginning of the Flying Girls.
Yeah.
So when we started, like when Lydia started the whole things, it basically was like a really intimate room, and it was really like a room in a hostel. And the girls were talking about their basic needs, and it was like a really open, a really heart-to-heart room. So we were talking like really like girly things, like how menstruation is working and all the things that comes around, so sexuality and whatever. And so afterwards we felt like, okay, so why are we talking here with girls? Where are the boys? And
Yes.
so we went out to a bigger room, and we were just holding up the cups. And I remember it was really, really nice how the boys just really stared at these things, like turn it upside down. It's like how could you put, and they were really like interesting. And it was like a really nice feeling of empowering both, because they were really interesting. And the first thing that happens afterwards, that a boy was reading a German, well, the Kofi, Lydia helped me out. Where are his parents from? When he went to Uganda also. So he was like a boy was presenting this to a female group in Uganda. And he was like, he's a male nurse, and he was talking about that like really freely. And with the same freedom also, Lydia and her boys are talking about this. And this is something that gives me hope, because this is a topic, it's not to be closed in a bathroom. It's not a topic that's close to be after bedroom doors or whatever. Sexuality and gender equality is something that belongs on stage, and it's worth to talk about this. And if we don't start, if women don't leave their shame, or just let go of their shame and the feeling of guiltiness, or so if we talk about this and we raise our voice and we talk about this to our to our daughters and to our boys, that we're menstruating, that it's like a natural thing to do. And also, I really think this is something giving me a hope that the girls are actually doing this at home, talking about this freely. So a big thanks, like really, really hard, and big thanks to you, Lydia, that you're carrying on this idea.
Thank you very much for everything what you have done. I'm very, very happy, and Lydia, you as well. And we keep in touch, and we have shown that it's possible so many years, and we will continue years again. Ziko Mwambini.
Ziko Mwambini.